Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Anne and it's been a while since I made a video. In fact, I haven't made a video yet this year and it's the end of March. And the reason for that is that I just didn't feel like it. I didn't have much motivation to make any videos and I've been focusing on my blog a lot lately. So you can find the link to that in the description. But we're in the middle of a crisis. We all know what's going on. I'm not going to mention the C word because I want this to be a fun space, and I think that's part of the reason why I've just felt like filming again and being creative again. I am still working on my blog, but I'm at home right now. We're all at home if you're being cautious and responsible, and I just wanted something to do. Plus, the Magical Readathon is coming up, the O.W.L.s edition in April. And I have put together a TBR and I wanted to share it with you because I'm also considering vlogging the entire readathon again. I did that during the nudes in August. So let's just get right into that. The Magical Readathon is a readathon hosted by G from O.W.L.s. She's been doing it, I think this is the third year now, and I participated last year for the first time. I'm not going to go into much detail about what it all involves because it's a lot, and G explains it much better than I do, so I'll just leave the link to her video up above, down below somewhere. But very quickly, the Magical Readathon is a readathon based on the exams students at Hogwarts from Harry Potter, of course, have to take. You've got the O.W.L.s and the nudes happen in August for this readathon, and the O.W.L.s are happening in April. So there are 12 school subjects you can take exams in, for example, Ancient Runes, Care of Magical Creatures, Charms, just the usual Hogwarts suspects. And if you want to pass the exams for that subject, you have to read a book that fits the prompt. Easy as that. But then there are also careers. G has come up with an entire list of careers, magical careers, and if you want to go into that career, you will have to pass a couple of specific exams, and then during the nudes you have to pass a couple of specific exams as well. So enough with the explanation, let's get into my TBR for the O.W.L.s. I have decided to go for the Trader of Magical Tomes career, which is a new one I think. I don't think it was there last year, and I don't have the description at hand right now, but the idea is that you'll become kind of a bookseller I think, but then a bit more adventurous. For that career I'll have to pass, I have it here on a post-it note, 4 different O.W.L. exams. So I have to read 4 books, but I've also decided to do another course or seminar, which is also a new thing this year. I have decided I want to do magical shop management. So when I become a trader of magical tomes and I have the magical shop management seminar degree certificate thing, I'll be able to set up my own magical bookstore, which sounds like something I'd really want to do. And for that one I also have to pass 1 exam. So the ones I have to pass are Ancient Runes, Charms, History of Magic, Transfiguration, and for the Magical Shop Management seminar I have to do Arithmancy. So here are the books I've chosen to read to pass these exams. First up is Ancient Runes, for which you have to read a book with a heart on the cover or the word heart in the title, for the heart rune, I think the idea is. And for that I have chosen Heartburn by Nora Ephron. Nora Ephron is the writer behind films such as Sleepless in Seattle and When Harry Met Sally, and I love those films, so when I found out she has written a book as well, I wanted to read it. She isn't with us anymore, she passed away in 2012 at the age of 71, and this is the only novel she has written. This is about a woman who is 7 months pregnant when she finds out that her husband is in love with another woman. So, not an ideal situation. That's basically all I know, but I think I've read the first page when I found it in the bookstore and it grabbed my attention right away. So I'm excited to read this. So next up, for the Trader of Magical Tomes career I have to pass the Charms exam, and for that the prompt is to read a book with a white cover, and for this I've chosen Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. This one's actually on my list of 10 books I really want to have read by the end of the year, because my boyfriend has read it and we want to see the Amazon TV show, and I've said I don't want to watch it before I've read the book, so now he keeps pestering me to read the book, so now I finally will. This is a book about the end of the world. And that's basically all I know about it. I know it's funny, I know it's very British, I think, and I know the TV show stars David Tennant, whom I love. So I'm going into this kind of blind. I know very little about what actually happens in the book, but I'm excited to read this, and this is also one of those books I've been meaning to read for a very long time, but I think that's true for the majority of the books on my bookshelves. Then I also have to pass the History of Magic exam, and this year the revision topic is witch hunts, so the prompt is to read a book that features witches or wizards, and for that I've chosen These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. This isn't a standard fantasy type novel, it's actually more like a contemporary novel, I think, with fantasy elements. The main character of this book is Hannah, and she lives in Salem, Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts, right? Yes, Salem, Massachusetts, where the witch trials took place all those years ago, and she is a witch. She's an elemental, which means she can control the elements, so fire, water, earth, and wind, I think. And her biggest... I'm sorry, I just saw a dog out there in the field outside of my house. He's jumping around and running, and he looks very happy. So Hannah is a witch, but she can't let other people know that she is a witch because that will have consequences. But then she starts seeing signs of dark magic happening around her neighborhood and around the city, I think, and so she has a bigger problem on her hands. And that's basically all I know, but it sounds really cool. It looks really cool. I really like the cover. And I'm excited to read it. And then the last exam I have to pass for the Trader of Magical Tomes career is the Transfiguration exam. And the prompt for that is to read a book that features shapeshifting. And I had a lot of trouble with thinking up a good book for this because I don't know which books feature shapeshifting. I don't have any books on my bookshelves that are very clearly about shapeshifting, of which it's in the description of the book or it's a prime feature, so I didn't really know, but luckily G has set up a spreadsheet where people can leave recommendations for others for certain prompts, so I took a look at that and I found Circe by Madeline Miller mentioned there multiple times. I had no idea that this features shapeshifting. I don't know the Odyssey that well, so perhaps I could have known, but I didn't. But I was very happy to find out that this features shapeshifting because I really want to read this, and that means I don't have to buy or find a new book to read for this readathon. Circe is about Circe, who is a witch from the Odyssey, from Greek mythology, and this is her story. I've heard very good things about this, as well as Madeline Miller's other Greek mythology novel, which is Song of Achilles. That one came out first, but I really wanted to read this one, so I'm going to give this one a go and hopefully I love it. And then I'll read Song of Achilles as well. I've heard so many people rave about this book, so I'm excited that now I finally have an excuse to read it. And then there's one more exam I have to pass, which is the exam for the Magical Shop Management course, and that is the Arithmancy exam. And for that the prompt is Magical Qualities of Number 2, Balance/Opposites. Read something outside your favorite genre. I'm not really sure what my favorite genre is. I really like to read fantasy, I really like to read contemporary, sci-fi, YA stuff. That's not a genre, but whatever. So I have decided to go for non-fiction because I don't read a lot of that. I do like some non-fiction, but I mostly focus on fiction. And I have a couple of non-fiction books on my shelves that I still want to read. And I've picked out 2, and I'm not sure yet which I'm going to read. Initially I chose The Red Notebook by Paul Auster. Paul Auster is one of my favorite writers. He is the author of the New York Trilogy, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And this is a collection of essays and interviews on the topic of literature, on the topic of writing literature and the compulsion to write literature. And I've been interested in reading this for a while, but like I said, I don't read a lot of non-fiction. It doesn't really excite me that much to read it, so when I get to pick out a new book to read, I usually go for a novel instead of a non-fiction book. But readathons are the perfect reason for me to read books like these that have been on my shelves for ages but I just don't pick up. So this is one of the options, and the other is Feminism for the 99%, a manifesto. This is about feminism, and I'm interested in feminism. I am a feminist, and this has been on my shelf since the end of 2019, I think, and I've been meaning to pick it up. So I might go for this one. It's a little shorter as well, so depending on how much time I have left in the month, who knows which one I'll pick up. But perhaps I'll have a lot of time and I'll read this first, and I'll read this for one of the other exams that I don't really have to pass. There's one prompt for one of the exams. I think it's for potions, which is to read a book that's less than 150 pages, and this fits that one as well. So you'll see in my vlogs, if I decide to make them, which one of these I'll pick up. And that's my TBR. Like I just said, I might read more than these books. There are still a lot of other prompts. Like I said, there are 12 subjects you can pass. Perhaps I'll be able to pick up some more, but I have not set a set TBR for those. My focus will be on finishing these books and passing these exams, so I can do the exams during the nudes as well. I'm very excited about this readathon. I loved doing it last year. I'm amazed at how well organized it is, how detailed it is. G does such a good job with it, and it's just a lot of fun to read these books and to imagine doing the exams at Hogwarts and just interacting with everyone who's doing the readathon, because there are so many people all over the world participating. So if you're participating as well, please let me know down below so we can chat about our TBRs, or perhaps link your videos for your TBR so I can watch them. Please give this video a like or a comment if you like, and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it, and have a wonderful day. Bye!